right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ref Room. I am Scott Smokin Silz, joined by my good friend, Mr. Brad Baumruck, our local referee-in-chief. And yeah, it's got a little different look to it today since we had our whole computer system die last week. So yeah, we have to get a new intro and do all this other stuff. So yeah, you'll get to see some fresh looks. Anyway, glad to be back with you guys since we missed you last week. And welcome back, Brad. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I was patiently waiting last week. And, you know, it was even funnier because I was patiently sending you every meme I could find about your computer updating.
You're driving me crazy. You know, it's one of those things. I mean, you know, it had an auto update that wasn't supposed to be automatic. It was just supposed to wait for me. I didn't say go. It went, and it destroyed my whole machine. So thank you, Apple. With that being said,
that's not exactly a good, you know, endorsement.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
but I've been a really good customer since about 1985, I think. I've been a Apple customer, so I've spent a lot of money with them. So they'll just have to take it once in a while. What's that?
Were you in the garage?
Basically,
when they made the computer?
I mean, if you could ever see it behind me, if you look over my shoulder, you see the little Mac computer sitting back there and like right there?
Yeah. Yeah, the one I played Oregon Trail on, Scott.
Well, if you had that, you were doing well back in the day.
Schools, Scott.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It was in the 90s, in the 80s. Come on, man.
No, this one's from the 80s. This is
Yeah, I'm sure the school had the one from the 80s till 2000s. All right,
oh, probably.
There you go.
All right. Anyway, we're going to cover some things today because we missed you guys last week, and we missed you, you know, even before that because we had the holiday, lots of stuff going on. It's summer. I've been taking a break. I haven't been working many games, and I don't know about you. You've been skating at all? I mean, I'm playing hockey this spring, which has been a lot of fun.
I haven't skated a ton, but you know, then again, there's not a lot out there.
I know.
I'm skating 2 tomorrow. I skated 2 last week.
Okay.
I skated 2 the week before, I think. So you know, I'm skating a little bit. I just want to go get on the ice and not lose my edges this time.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Well, I like that. Anyway, so we're gonna talk today. We got a few things we want to cover. We've got something we want to talk about with some fighting, with some hockey fighting. I think you guys will enjoy. We have some video of that.
Come on, it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to talk about the culture of men's league, a little bit the culture of men's league, because now that I'm back to playing again, and I've taken a 9-year sabbatical, so I'm not as good as I used to be. Not that I was ever good, but I'm even worse now. But I've been having a lot of fun with it. But I will tell you, I can understand some of the guys that have frustrations out there, okay? From both sides. I can understand it from the referee's perspective, but I can also understand it from the player's perspective. So I think we're going to talk a little bit about that today because, you know, I need to get it off my chest every now and then, something that's going on. And then I think you want to talk about like seminars. Everything's open. A lot of stuff's already closed because it's already sold out. So why don't you kind of bring us up to date with what's happening as far as like numbers and what people can look forward to with their seminars?
Yeah. So the big thing is unfortunately IHOA did have to shut down their seminars last week. It was due to a credit card issue, I guess, or something. I don't know. Something wasn't transporting over to us. I think it was probably one of those things where the two sites weren't talking. I know that everybody was sorted through. Anybody that got in there, you know, we did find everything, so it's not you know, like game changing here.
Yeah.
But it's all up and going. There wasn't any data breach that we know of or anything like that, so that's what we were kind of worried about at first. But that doesn't seem to be the case. But we're up and running. We're going. But yeah, unfortunately, we already have 2 of our seminars already totally filled at the beginning of August. And then we are moving forward into August. And it looks like the 3rd level 1 seminar that we're going to have is going to probably close out this week. And then the 5th one's probably going to close out this week too. So that leaves the 4th one, I think, with about 20 spots left, and then the rest are going. So,
what do you have? 50 people per seminar with those, or what's the max number you can have for the level 1s?
So our max number that we can have per USA Hockey is 50.
Okay.
But we have to also take in considerations where we're hosting the event. So unfortunately, some of those classrooms are greatly reduced.
Yeah.
So that's the only problem. But we're doing our best with the rinks to work.
So now this year it's different because USA Hockey is going to be doing the online portion for the level ones. Is that correct? Just the level ones?
So they're going to do the online 4-hour virtual for the level ones. And yes, we are aware that they haven't been posted yet. We do know that they are working on it. They've guaranteed that they're going to be doing it. They are working on it. They have had some changes up at their home office. And I think as an organization, as officials that have been here for many years that know how things go, for them to make a statement that they're asking for some more time, it's a good thing. And they want to make sure that they're going to have it all covered so that they're not going to give it to us and we're going to end up getting stuck. So I know that they're working, so just everybody be patient. And I kid you not, it'll be right here before we know it, so I'm not too worried about it.
All right, so we got an instructor meeting tomorrow night, but you had one last week, right?
Yep.
So catch me up.
It was a lot of fun.
I'm sure. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow night. Okay.
No, I mean, I
well, do we have?
up. I mean,
are all the do you guys have all the modules and everything from them for that? Is that stuff ready to go or? Yeah. Okay.
It is. It's all ready to go for the instructors. It was distributed last week. We got the level ones. So the only thing is, anybody that's teaching, the big thing is for anybody across the nation is if you've taught for a lot of years, guess what? It's all new material. So you're going to get new questions. So you better go through it beforehand. No,
that's great because I think everybody would welcome new material because a lot of times some of the material is a little recycled. And I think that's a really good thing because I think, obviously the instructors will enjoy being able to go through and get some new questions. And I think for everybody that's watching it, it's more enjoyable. Somebody called me that was at a gathering. We'll call it a gathering. And they're like, they thought we should do the seminars. We should have the ref room. They would have more fun just asking questions and us going through stuff. So, maybe that's a format we need to explore as we move forward. I thought that was very interesting, but that was brought to my attention. I was flattered by it because I had never thought of something like that. But, I know there are a lot of guys that actually do watch the show and they've learned a lot from the show and that they pick up little tidbits and things from us and they enjoy it. So, that's why I think if they have all new material, I think that'll be fantastic. And let's see, we got a question. What's up, Alan? How are you, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while because I've been laying low. Haven't been doing a lot of games. Let me just move this a little bit. We'll make this a little bit easier for everybody to see. Is that better for everybody? My question is, yeah, I can see it.
No, I can't.
You can't see it? Why would you not be able to see it? Oh, you're probably seeing my camera. Well, anyway, trust me, it's out there because I can see it on the monitor. So, question is, are players allowed to wear tape on their jersey? This is a Joe Joseph Patrick Prescott question. Alan Gould is the A house rule. Is this an A? Oh, is it an A house rule or something or AI rule?
No. A house.
So.
Hang on. A House was the governing body before USA Hockey.
Or is this? Oh, yeah, exactly. I think he's just asking, is that a house rule? So, Alan, as far as it goes, I think that you will find most teams, like in youth hockey, have real jerseys with real numbers. And there are occasions, maybe in Spring League, where they're wearing practice jerseys instead of their real game jerseys, which we see a lot of. But usually they have a number. There are occasions where somebody may have forgotten a jersey and they borrow a goalie jersey or they switch it up. I'm not going to stress if somebody's got to put tape on their back. As long as we can identify who they are on a roster and we know who they are, we're going to let them play hockey. And if the number falls off, as long as I know, like the dude with the red helmet and the black jersey is John Doe, I'm good with that. Because if I have a problem, I know who he is. He's on the roster. We know he's legit. It's good by me. We could find him.
Yeah,
So
as long as John Doe is identified as John Doe on the score sheet, with
right
that number
now,
correlating.
if it's John Doe and
yeah.
it's really Jimmy Doe, then we got a problem because Jimmy Doe may not be registered, and that's where we run into issues. Okay, so as long as we know who the player is and he's identified on the roster and he's a legitimate rostered player, I'm good with it.
Yeah,
fair answer.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
that's coming from the referee in chief, man. The referee in chief says he can play. So there you have it.
I think that's where the question was going.
Yeah, I think so too.
Honestly, I would think so, but yeah, I mean, now if somebody was using it to alter their jersey or something like that, that's a totally different question.
Right.
So that would be a different question, but
right.
With
the
what we're
question is the taped number on, as long as you can identify the player, we're good. Now if it's a modified jersey, like they've taken the sleeves off and they have equipment hanging out, maybe the jersey was too tight. You can't have exposed elbow pads or shoulder pads. Everything's got to be covered. So that's what you need to know. But like taping a number on a jersey for identification purpose, that should not be an issue. Normally it's not an issue, but even if in spring league or scrimmage, it shouldn't. As long as we can identify them, we're fine.
You ever been on a game before, Scott, and they had the same number on two guys?
Oh yeah. That's the one you got to watch for, because then you got to know who's who, because there's points involved. That's important for them, but there's penalties involved, and that's important for us and for the safety of all the players on the ice, because we need to know who's getting the penalty and who it's being assessed to and charged to, because it could be a major penalty, it could be a game misconduct type penalty, or something where there's an injury potential, or something even beyond and worse. So that's where you have to know.
Yeah, especially if it went to like court about it, because if they're gonna pull video and they see 98, if I'm a half decent lawyer and I'm not, I'd be like, well, I see in the other parts of the video there's two 98s. How do you know that it's this one? You'd have a lot of problems. So you need to make sure that they're identifiable somehow. Yeah, exactly. And that's a great point right there. So for all you guys, if you're reffing and you do have guys with multiple numbers, need to know who's who. Somehow you have to identify that same number jersey, that it belongs to the person that it's supposed to be, and that it's documented that that's the person in case there is a problem. Okay. All right. With that being said, so we've now covered we've covered the seminars and registration a little bit. Anything else you want to add to registration before we get to some good stuff? No, get registered.
Should we go to the? What do you want to go to? You want to go to the fight stuff next?
Yeah, let's go to the fight stuff next, because I think we're gonna fill our time. Because of that, then we can keep the men's league culture for next week, because we got back-to-back shows. Remember that, Scott? No. We're taking a week off. Back-to-back shows. We're taking a week off. I don't know about that. But all right. You and I will argue that one out. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's roll this clip, though. Okay, we're gonna roll this. Hopefully we get the audio to this and everything kind of works here. Credit to YouTube, but I think this thing came from FanDuel or a fan. I can't remember. Yeah, well, there we go. All right, so what do you want to set this up at all, or you want to talk about it a little bit before we roll clip? No, let's roll the clip first and then talk about it. I can't see the clip, so.
Justice wants one big shot. There's a big left. They're both just pounding away. Both fighters just exchanging lefts and rights.
Wow, that's a good one right there. That's a great first round.
Wow. Justice wants one big shot. There's a big left. They're both just pounding away. Both fighters just exchanging lefts and rights.
Wow, that's a good one right there. That's a great first round.
Wow.
That's it?
That's it. It's short.
Okay.
I told you that. Yeah. I told you a lot of their stuff is protected online because they're new. I get it. They want to make a product and they want to make some money off of it, so I get it. So,
Yeah.
kudos to them. We should definitely give them a call out.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's,
let's go ahead. Give their website and everything a shout out so they know we're not trying to hijack them.
Yeah, no. So this came from Ice Wars. So Ice Wars is a company that is premier ice hockey fighting, and I think if I remember correctly from their website, it states, let's skip the face-off and get right to the fighting. So
Do we know any of the participants in this league?
So actually we do.
That's why I asked the question, right?
and he just actually fought over the weekend again. He's fought in all three of them. But that's not the reason we brought it up.
Is he a player, or is he a coach, or is he a referee? What is he? Or is he all of the above?
Or all of the above. But we're not bringing it up to boast him or anything. But
No. I know. We're just having a little fun, but yeah.
Well, I brought it up to you, Scott, because
I know.
when I saw this, I guess niche, call it a niche, however you pronounce that word,
okay.
right?
Yep.
Okay. I couldn't get over the fact that the professional levels of hockey, okay, especially with all their talks and their rumblings right now, that they are considering basically banning fighting from professional hockey. Now, mind you, let's also say this real quick, Scott. This program is not affiliated or represent USA Hockey in any fashion, okay?
That's for sure.
In youth hockey,
we provide quality programming here, okay?
Youth hockey, fighting has been removed from the game. It's not allowed.
Yeah.
We all understand that. So, and I don't see any reason for that not to be the case. I mean, you're dealing with amateur athletes that are different skill sets. The last thing we need is them out there in a box and brawl match.
Well,
right?
Let's take this a step further. Let's take this a step further. And I'm not going to change the subject here. We're going to stay on the fighting subject because you brought up the fact that, the NHL may be looking at removing fighting from the game. And I think that this is something, we didn't get to talk about the fact that the Blackhawks actually secured Bedard because we weren't on, which they did. But now this is like, hopefully he's the next coming of the Gretzky, the great one, or, the Sidney Crosby or the Patrick Kane or whatever. He's 17 years old.
He just turned 18 today.
Okay. He's 18. All right. So he's 18 years old. Has he ever been in, he's probably had a couple brawls, I'm sure, during his course of his youth. I would think at some point, I don't know, a high school game, or did he play high school hockey, or did he only play like AAA and above and beyond?
Yes, yes and yes.
But these are the kind of guys that are the ticket to the NHL. They don't want to see these guys getting hurt. This is the future of the NHL.
I get it.
Is it fair to have a 30-year-old guy that's just an absolute, tough guy coming after an 18-year-old kid that just turned 18? That's the league is looking to fill seats. That's a fair question to ask. I mean, I get the Hawks just got Corey Perry. Is Corey Perry his bodyguard on that line? Was that his job when he was brought in? Was Foligno brought in to protect him? I mean, they've got to have some guys to take care of him. Taylor Hall is a great player. I'm excited to get him for the Blackhawks now, but he's a skill player. He may be a tough guy. I don't know. I've never seen him go at it. I'm sure he is. He survived 10 years in the NHL. You can't be soft and do that. But, he wasn't brought here to protect Bedard. Corey Perry probably was.
Well, I'm not saying, but also there have been guys that have been coming into the league that have made it through just fine. So
of course.
Is it to stay that it can happen? But then again, you could remove everything, and hockey's so freaky, it might not matter.
Well, the biggest thing I think all of us in Chicago that hang around hockey and understand it, like my first concern is Like Bedard could become the greatest player in the history of hockey, but he's got to stay healthy. We have to keep that guy healthy. So, if somebody comes in here and gets a cheap shot on him and, that takes him out, like, that's not good for the Blackhawks. It's not good for the NHL. It's not good for hockey, because this kid is going to sell a lot of tickets around the country. Everybody's going to want to go see this kid. Trust me. The buildings that were, you could be the last place team. Who would that be besides the Blackhawks? That would be San Jose. He goes to San Jose for a couple games. Guess what? They're going to be sold out those nights. They're going to sell tickets. Everybody's going to want to pay to see him.
They're going to sell those tickets way in advance, so it'll be fine this year.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. But
you know what I'm saying, though.
I know where you're going with it, and I get it 100%. They want to protect their investment. It's just like in football, to where the quarterback basically can't get hit anymore. I understand it. I get it. They're big money players, too. So you're actually, you're spending a lot of money on them, so you don't want to see them sidelined. I get this. But the point that I made to you, Scott, was that there's this phenomena going on out there that is basically UFC on ice, okay? Yeah. So there's got to be a market for it. So
there is.
I think to the extent to where we're told, hey, no, it's because hockey fans don't want to see the fighting. And it's too. I think that's the part that I'm aggravated with.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, because hockey fans do like the fights. If you've been around hockey for a long time, you understand. For those of you that don't, we're going to explain it to you. Okay, it's do unto others as they would do unto you. So, like, if you do something bad to somebody, expect you're going to get it back threefold
somehow.
Okay?
Yep.
You might get away with a nasty hit on somebody. You skate away and you think, oh, I got away with that. Not going to happen, because somebody is going to come back and make it much worse for you.
Well, hang on, Scott.
And this is what keeps guys from doing stupid stuff in the NHL, because they have the skill and the ability and the strength to do it. But ultimately, there will be somebody that comes back and pays them back for that.
Scott, it's like the old story with Gordie Howe, where he goes in and gets stitched up, right? And the doctor's stitching him up. Then as he's leaving, he turns around and he goes, hey, Doc, you might not want to leave. And the doctor goes, why? He goes, because the guy that did this to me will be right in to see you.
Yeah.
Because he's going to go back out there and get him. So it's it's an eye for an eye. So, and if you ask some of the old guard referees and stuff, guys didn't have to wear face cages and helmets and stuff, because the players knew to keep their sticks down. They knew, because what was going to happen to them if they didn't. So it's just one of those things. I brought it up because, I think it's very interesting to see just this totally new idea coming out of left field from our sport, which isn't it's the fifth major sport, right? Okay, and now it's got like this offshoot sport, which I never would have really expected, because I also don't like UFC. I think that it's a total waste of my time, but I know there's a lot of people that like it.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how that maybe you can't grab some of these UFC people into this genre that would bring them into hockey, but I think then you put them in hockey and they're like, oh, all right, so this is all the whole game is? I'll just watch this one over here. So I just looked at it from the market standpoint of, I get it. I understand what everybody's doing. Is that the way to go? Like, is there a big enough market that it should at least stay in the game? And not only that, for these things that do happen that are cheap shots or hits to the head, okay, now you're going to suspend a guy for fighting after his player gets laid out for a 5 in a game hit to the head. Like, what? I don't see the understanding of that either. Why does that guy get to go away unpunished? So, and a suspension. Okay, the suspension doesn't mean anything. Getting your teeth kicked in means something.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's just me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. And, all these leagues are looking for ways to spin, not the leagues themselves, but people are looking for ways to spin off a portion of, or, some part of that sport into something else, whether it was, the NFL and they had what's the other football league they tried?
XFL.
XFL, like extreme sports versions of some of this stuff, or just new ways of presenting things. You know,
the XFL, let me tell you, almost every awesome camera shot that you get in the NFL nowadays was created by the XFL.
Yeah,
the slide
the cameras going down Yep.
It was all the XFL. So, you know what? Sometimes a little competition's a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's out of the box thinking, and it's changing things, and people are like, wow, that actually, they have something that they've thought about that's good, and that does happen.
If the XFL would have just went in the cheerleaders' locker room, like they kept saying, they wouldn't have lost as many viewers, and they wouldn't have folded so fast. I'm just pointing that out. So
yeah. Well, look at professional wrestling, how that's evolved, and it went from one organization to multiples to TV, and I mean it's it's multi-billion-dollar industry now, and there's no reason why some of these other sports. I mean, we had that extreme. I don't know, what was it? One of our referees, I don't want to mention his name, but he did like some skating thing that he went to. It was like extreme skating. Wasn't a referee thing. It was just a skating, like down a slope pretty fast, and it was.
I know what you're talking about. The Red Bull thing.
Yeah.
The Red Bull thing where they raced.
So,
So let me go look that up. I forget what that's named.
So anyway, that's that's something that they've tried to spin off as well. So, we've got roller hockey. We've got lacrosse. We've got all kinds of spin-offs for hockey.
So it is called. So it's downhill cross. So it's the biggest ice cross downhill competition. That's what it's called. So it's other words. But what it is basically, you're on basically. I would describe it as a ski slope, but it's not. They go and they manufacture these great big things. And literally race against a bunch of people. It's very interesting. I liked it. I think it's very interesting. And we had somebody do it from here. He did it for quite a while. Yeah. And he said the biggest interesting part about it is the pressure that you get on your legs because you're not used to going downhill like that on skates. He goes, the first time I did it, literally I just fell right on my ass. The first low spot that I got to, he's like, down I went. He goes, it was definitely something else.
Yeah, speed you're not used to, and it's a change of direction without executing a turn using the edges.
Yep. Yeah. So, but
all right.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys get hurt, unfortunately. So, but it's always interesting to watch. I've always enjoyed it. So
yeah. All right, let me pull up a couple of the questions we have here. Let's see. Alan had another question. He says there are players do have double numbers. I go with A82 or 82A, and I watch who scored the goal. Yeah, it's exactly perfect, Alan. All right. Karen says, "Hi, Karen. Good to see you or hear from you. Junior teams for tryouts are telling players they don't want fighting. That's kind of a change because it used to be they didn't want the fighting. They would allow one fight. If you fought twice, they were going to throw you out of there. But they kind of wanted to see what everybody was made of. So now that they're getting away from that, I think that's a good idea, especially in the tryouts. Like, you don't need to get people getting hurt. You've got guys that just came out of high school that are trying out for juniors that may not have played at the highest levels. And, you have some players that have played, in some pretty tough divisions and have been around that. Yeah, it's a different thing, and you don't want the wrong guy getting picked on at a tryout that's there to just see what his skill level is and see if he wants to go to that next level and put up with what they have to do to get there. So I could see that.
League.
So yeah, so thank you for that, huh? Karen. Yeah, Karen said Red Bull. Yeah, that was the Red Bull thing. That's exactly what that was. Yep.
You're not going to feed off that Slapshot quote, huh?
I can believe. What? What Slapshot? What do you?
Where I was like Iron League. You're not gonna. That was just gonna fly right over there.
Yeah. Hey, let's have the Denny Pratt Memorial Tournament, okay?
There you go. I'd be there.
Yeah.
So. Oh man. Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, so you want to talk about men's league, or you want to table that?
Let's table it for next week because we got a show.
All right. All right.
Maybe we
fair
can
enough.
argue about it, but let's table
Okay.
it for next week because it's summer and a lot of people are out. It's nice and cool. Like, I can see a lot of my
Yeah.
neighbors.
Well, at least you can see today. Like it's actually clear skies. Finally, we haven't had that for a while. I walked out of the yesterday and like I thought I walked into a wood burning fireplace. I could smell it. It was like, oh. Normally
we haven't
I
had
haven't-
it here for a little while.
Yeah, we haven't had. I mean, I've seen it. I've had it at night. I was at Rolling Meadows in the parking lot, getting out of my car a couple times, and I could smell it there. It's a pretty wide open area by that hill or whatever, and yeah, smelled it yesterday when I came out. So, yeah, it's is what it is. Canada's burning. There's nothing we can do. It's going to smolder for a while. So it looks like we're going to be in the path
Yep.
for most of the summer. Hopefully they stay safe up there and they get that stuff controlled. And I think we had the second worst air quality in the world yesterday or something like that. It was definitely in the top 5. But, yeah, they're saying we're going to have to deal with that most of the summer. So I don't know when it blows out and stays out.
The good thing is hockey starts soon, so you'll be back in the rink, so you won't have to deal with it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it stays out of the hockey rink. No particles will come in.
No.
No particles going in there. That's right.
It's like wearing a mask. It's like
Yeah,
wearing a
right.
mask.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
We
All
can
right,
joke
on that,
about it now.
on that note, I'm hanging up now.
All right. Well, hey, hopefully we'll have a new intro here.
Oh, I don't know, man. That's going to take a while to create. Okay, that's
right,
a lot of work on
little peer
my
pressure.
end. I'm going to try to salvage what I can here, but yeah. Anyway, so
I'll stoop advice. Literally stoop advice.
yeah.
Because I'm not going to
advice.
help. I don't know what
Yeah.
the hell I'm doing with it.
Okay. Well, you're
I'll let
a
you do
sharp
that
guy.
part.
We'll put your creative skills to work. You know.
All right, I can
know.
talk. That'll work.
Yeah, I know you could talk. All right. I'm not even going to touch that one today. I'm going to give that a pass, okay?
All right.
All right,
right.
everybody. Thank you all for joining us. So you're saying we'll be back next Monday. We're going to do another show next Monday. Is that right? You want to get back on that schedule, or are we taking another week off and then come back? It's up to you.
I'll do next week real quick if you
All
want.
right.
I mean,
Let's do it.
Well,
Let's
you
do
know
it.
what? Hang on. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
Hang on.
Chance to
No,
back
let's-
out now. I didn't
Yeah,
even look
no,
at my
let's-
schedule because I'm playing tonight. I'm
Yeah,
getting ready to go to
nah.
hockey.
Not that Monday.
Oh, so
We're
we're
gonna have
not
to skip
doing
that Monday.
we're not doing next Monday. All right. Let me see what my schedule says.
Says,
Oh
we
no!
can talk about this later.
It says I got a playoff game that night. So
All right, so then we're
and-
agreed.
and
No show.
we better have some good referees. Okay, just saying, better have some good referees. Show up
Right.
on time for the game. Don't come 9 minutes into the game. Okay. Don't come 9 minutes into the game. You know who I'm talking about.
I don't know who it is. So. All right. This is Brad
Don't
from
stand
ref
at the
room.
far blue line
See
and
you-
make a call below the goal line.
Say, seeing you in 2 weeks. All right, let's go, Scott.
Hey, I might want to do the men's league show right now.
Well, we're not.
Don't get me going. Okay.
You're
All
too
right, everybody. You guys
emotionally
have
invested.
right. You guys have a great week, and enjoy the summer. It's we're already past the midpoint. I can't believe it. Like, it goes so fast. Go play some golf. Get out there, get some sun, have a good time, and we'll see you next Monday. Not next Monday. A week from Monday. A week
There you go.
from Monday, right here, starting
Right.
at 5:30 p.m. Central. All right, everybody. Peace out. I'm Scott Smokin Silz and my man Brad Baumruck.